Namibia, Namuvenye. Edinyalange Nyame, Patrick Sam, I'm coming to you live from the Kavango West region, the capital town that is Nkurunkuru. And this morning it is the State of the Region address. The Governor, Verna Sinimbo, will be addressing the residents of the region. The dynamics of this region are that there are 8 constituencies, about 123,266 residents according to the 2023 census. We're talking about a region that has 91% or 91.5% of the region is classified as rural and about 8.5% as urban. And so those are the dynamics here. I'm joined by an esteemed guest this morning who is a social justice activist in the region, and he'll be talking to us about the position of young people. Mr. Modestus Kabumbona, thank you very much for joining us this morning in the pre-analysis to the SORA.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to us about, given this context of the region, what are the challenges that many young people face, given the fact that 70% of Namibia's population is younger than 35?
Now, the region faces a quite challenge in terms of youth unemployment. It's a major concern in the region. Limited access to quality education, internet connectivity, which is a paramount for civic engagement and personal growth of the youth, but equally substance abuse and alcohol and teenage pregnancy is a challenge that needs a coordinated effort for the community and the governance to respond with agency.
How does it make it either worse or better, the fact that 91.5% of the region is within a rural context? When you're speaking about issues of employment, is there employment opportunities in a rural context? Speaking about this context, is it worse for young people in this region, or is it better maybe because they might have more access to food security, or what the dynamic is? Speak to us about that.
No, you see, internet connectivity is very crucial. We are in a digital world where even vacancies you have to get through internet, and therefore without internet it's really a challenge. Even in terms of employment, even at the national levels or vacancies from other regions, people of this region, even in terms of government targeted programs, we don't used to benefit, because when you see, maybe it might be even 1 to 3 days, then when you see that there was a program for they used to participate because of those challenges of internet. So it's really hindering the development of the region.
Now that you've identified those gaps, who must do what at what level, particularly as Namibians? I think there's a lot of focus on central government and efforts in terms of how central government's role is to provide structure and resources, and almost the execution of bringing the services closer, and a system of service delivery needs to be at a regional council and at a local authority level. So how do young people participate in ensuring that these structures, regional council, local authorities, the town council, affect their livelihoods?
Yes, you see, when it comes to even to how should we address this from the central government, when they make allocations to the regional based, they must emphasize the issues of equity. Okay. You cannot give the same regions in a balance. You have to make sure that the region is lacking. Kavango West is lacking. Therefore, the budget we must also increase so that we can fix that gap that exists between other regions. But equally, the regional government must also make sure that if there are programs that are targeted, it must be implemented, clearly monitored, so that our people benefit.
Okay. So what do you expect from the State of the Region this morning, from the Governor's office, particularly looking at issues of rural infrastructure development, issues of education, healthcare access, agricultural productivity, employment creation? What do you expect from the Governor this morning?
We expect the youth a bold decision on youth unemployment and a budget allocated to youth empowerment programs, and also rural electrification, because it's a challenge. Youth have ideas out there. They're out there in the periphery, waiting to grab those opportunities, but there's no electricity. And what we also expect is agricultural support. You see, the theme of the other SORA, it has been Kavango West going green. So agricultural support in terms of horticulture and on those programs, it must be well articulated in the SORA.
But sometimes I find that, for instance, I'll give you an example. Currently, the Environmental Investment Fund is asking for communities to ask for up to, for instance, 150,000 Namibian dollars for agricultural products. You know, that's an initiative from a government agency. We also have recently the president announcing the 253 million for the Youth Development Fund, all right, that will be operationalized soon. So how do we make the connections to say the young people here that lack opportunity and accessing those already existing opportunities or those opportunities that are yet to become institutionalized? How do we make that connection?
So even when the central government, they just, I don't know whether it's just a rhetoric or they are going to, there is that money, or if it exists, they have to going to bring human to capacitate the rural people here. Not only just giving the resources that there's an opportunity, but people don't know how. So you have to empower people, but it's equal to the regional council. They should go in the communities, deep in the rural areas, and train the youth and targeted beneficiaries so that they can grab that opportunity once they come. Because without knowledge, you can have resources. What do you do with it?
That's an interesting point that you're saying, that the gap goes beyond just the financial, you know, aspects, that it goes to human resources and developing people. Speak to us about opportunities for skills development for young people here. Are they accessible? Are they readily available? I was, you know, driving around the city. We saw Helvetia University as a private institution here. Are young people able to have a pathway?
Yes, there is recently opened Kavango VTC, the vocational training center, but what I've noticed is that they don't even have a course for agriculture. But while the region prioritizes that one, that's supposed to be the first, their first priority. And when it comes even to these programs of the youth credit schemes and everything that the other regions are benefiting, here we only have one youth officer who is responsible for 8 constituencies, which is impossible in different fields, be it social, be it in business, be it in health. So because she was just trained on one field, so it will be impossible for her to really to cater for the demand. And we are calling for the government, the central government, for staff establishment of the region so that it can be equal like in other regions, because this is really affecting us.
So you've given a responsibility towards central government. What are your responsibilities to the governor's office as well as the regional leadership?
So let me just start with the appointment of Her Excellency when they were appointed as the governors. She was very clear that unethical behavior, it will not be tolerated and business will not be usual. So when the opportunities come, we don't want nepotism. It must be inclusive and everyone must benefit. Not who I know, but what I know. Therefore, in terms of collaboration, the governor's office should also have collaboration even with stakeholders, civil society organizations, and not in terms of exclusion. That's what we want to expect. But from the council, we expect bold leadership in terms of empowering the youth. It must be targeted, not only just for statistics, or even perhaps saying that, no, you see, we are targeting the youth. But even in your reports, even these SORA reports, we must know how many youth benefited to this project, because of these programs that we've set through as the regional government.
We obviously know everybody has a role and responsibility to play. In terms of a region that's so rural, is there private sector that can also join towards ensuring development in the region? Yourself in civil society, what are some of the efforts that you have done in order to move the needle in this region?
You see, we've been advocating for developments in the region. There's now the sports facilities that from the Ministry of Youth, we advocated for it so that the youth can be benefit and be empowered, but equally, the private sector in collaboration with government is necessary. Because you can see now, even here in town, there are some areas that does not have network, and there are schools here, and there's IOM, there's Helvetia, and students are coming from that side without internet. How do you expect for them to progress while the government is prioritizing education, but accessibility to quality education? So the private sector, even the state-owned enterprises, MICT telecommunications should come and develop.
You keep on referring to agriculture being a priority. Can agriculture then absorb, for instance, all the opportunities for young people, or should we look at other sectors like you're mentioning, sport as a key sector that's also under the NDP6, the infrastructure that the government is committed to in the constituencies? We'll obviously hear about that in the SORA this morning as well. Creative industries. What are the other opportunities beyond agriculture that exist for young people in this region?
I think this is a development, I think, in terms of ICT. ICT is also an opportunity that can, if really harnessed, it will bring an impact in the community. But equally, we must also come up with even with factories, if needs be, because we have seen the rural development at Rupara, where people should, from these goods to finished goods, so that it can help.
So value addition,
yeah,
beneficiation.
Yeah, correct.
So in terms of other young people, particularly at a regional level, that have sometimes lost hope, that are dealing with or struggling with issues of accessing information, what's your message to them as somebody who is a social activist and social justice activist, particularly in the region?
My message to the youth is that they must not lose hope, they must not be depressed, they must take up opportunities, go to community meetings where the information is, join even every structure or organs of power in the community, be school boards, or even WhatsApp platforms where there is meaningful engagement, not only just on social medias. Let's use it positively to impact our lives.
So in terms of getting young people organized, what is, again, not just at an individual level, but at an organizational level, what are some of the tips that you can provide, particularly in engaging your civic responsibility at a regional level, at a local level, and even at the central level?
Most of the responsibility is to provide civic education to young people, because maybe we have to target even institutions or even communities, because if you don't know how the government works or what are existing opportunities out there, you need how the government works, from the central government to the regional to the local government, and what are your responsibilities as an individual before you take up those opportunities.
Another challenge that we have, especially at the regional council and local authority level, is obviously the turnout to elections, and it's an election year this year as well. Is it, again, a lack of understanding as we round up? I think they're getting ready. But do you think we should show up in bigger numbers and participate at the subnational level as well?
We are going to run a campaign for this supplementary voters education, that more young people can get voters cards to vote for this upcoming local regional elections, because these are crucial to the service delivery, and we want to put strong leadership there.
So you'll be participating in those as well?
Yes.
In closing, what's your message to the Governor's office and with the expectations beyond the SORA?
Beyond the SORA is in terms of, my expectation is just monitoring and evaluation. After this SORA, the tone has been set. What's more important is to go and monitor those programs are implemented as reported or not, but also to help people to hold the responsible actors accountable if not implemented, because communities are frustrated.
And how do communities participate beyond elections?
Community should participate beyond the election through these meetings. Even this SORA is also a form of participation, but equal to, you can even, there's an open door policy. You can go to the offices, inquire about what's happening to our community. There is a problem there, and equally, even there, I also have to upload the Kavango West regional government. They went to visit all the constituencies just to hear from the people, and that's a good initiative for good governance.
And in that, it's very interesting. I mean, you can hear that the sounds are coming through. We're just waiting for, I think, the arrival of the governor that's been seated as well, and then we'll cross over immediately. And so we're just trying to ensure that the voices of young people from the Kavango West region are heard, to ensure that there's a culture being cultivated where young people are able to ensure that they participate in meetings like the State of the Region address as it's a accounting mechanism for the governor, who really serves as an extension from the office of the president and as a representative of the president in the region, to make sure that the development agendas that are set at a central level are able to be decentralized at a regional council and even at a local authority level. So that's the things that we can expect. I think the biggest challenge for the region is the ideas of rural infrastructure development, as 91.5% of this region is constituted as being rural. And I think maybe the dynamics of coming from a rural context, the initial question I was asking, does it make it better? Because sometimes maybe you don't have liquidity in terms of money, but you might have a livelihood in terms of having access to food, having some level of food sovereignty in that context. Maybe that might not be the case. So that's what I was saying in closing, making Namibia and the rest of the audience watching us right now understand the status of development, particularly in a region that is so largely rural, as your closing remarks.
No, what we expect now is that this is so rural, which means in terms of rural, there is land, huge land for agricultural development. Therefore, even the government and the central government should work these green schemes. We have seen the Skondo green schemes as a green schemes. It must be functional, maximal, so that we can also benefit as a region. But equally, as I said, equity is very important in terms of development.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Modesto. So there you heard it from the social justice activist here in the Kavango West region, telling us that equity, particularly for a region that finds itself to be so largely rural, is important, and the distribution of public expenditure, public resources need to actually be focused greater in this region. We're ready to cross over for the state of the region, being brought to you by the governor of the region, that is Ms. Verna Sinimbo. We'll be back after that speech for the post-analysis.
Yes, while remain standing, may we then take the national and the AU anthems. Thank you very much. We may be seated as we then invite the Honorable Chairperson to call the meeting to order.
May I call the meeting to order? Thank you very much, our program director, who is the CRO of the Kavango West Regional Council, Comrade Singambwe. Let us pray. Almighty God, who by thy omnipotence and omnipresence sustains direct human destiny and institute government, we thank thee and praise thee for this beautiful land. Let thy abundant blessing and wisdom therefore descend upon us here in this regional council, and grant that we may humbly and responsibly deliberate on all matters entrusted to us for the upliftment and the welfare of the inhabitants of the region. We ask all this in the names of our Lord and Liberator, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you very much. May I, first and foremost, see whether all the honorable councillors are present. Are we all in attendance, honorable members? Thank you very much. We are all present. May I now ask anybody to move for the adoption of this agenda, honorable members? Yes, Honorable Sinimbo?
Honorable Chair, I hereby move for the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you, Honorable Sinimbo. Anybody in support? Honorable Katura?
Honorable Chair, I do support the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Katura. The agenda is adopted. In terms of Article 110A, subsection 5 of the Namibian Constitution, which states that a regional governor shall attend a meeting of the regional council, of which she is the regional governor, once every year, which meeting shall occur after the President and the Cabinet attended Parliament, in terms of Article 32, subsection 2 thereof. Article 110A, subsection 6 states that during the meeting referred in subarticle 5, the regional governor shall address the regional council on the state of the region, planned activities of the central government in the region, report of the activities of the central government of the previous year in the region. As it is usual, when the governor is going to address us, there will be no questions to be asked. You are members of our audience. The one who are supposed to ask questions are the regional councils. But how come we ask ourselves? Because the regional governor is going to address us through the programs of activities of line ministries, of which regional council is one of them. Therefore, there will be no questions to be asked. Unfortunately, if there were questions to be asked, we did not get that notice as to who is going to ask questions. As per our Regional Council Act, Act number 22 of 1992 as amended, if anybody prepares questions, you give notice to the council. Unfortunately, we did not get any notice. Therefore, questions are eliminated. I now have the honor and the privilege to invite the Honorable Governor of the Kavango West, Honorable Verna Pingana Sinimbo, to come and address us Honorable Governor, may I now step down so that you come to the podium. Honorable Governor, can we all rise and say, "Way, Governor, way"? Way, Governor, way.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Thank you for this opportunity granted to me by Honorable Joseph Sivaku Sikongo, our chairperson of the Kavango West Regional Council. Honorable Regional Councillors present, Your Worship Yafet Muti, Mayor of the Nkurenkuru Town Council, Honorable Local Authority Councillors present, esteemed traditional leaders present, Comrade Elena Diparo, Swapo Party Regional Coordinator of Kavango West Region, representatives from other political parties present, Mr. Matthews Singambwe, Chief Regional Officer of Kavango West Regional Council, Mr. Peter Sindimba, CEO of Nkurenkuru Town Council, Commissioner Julia Sakuaneo, Regional Police Commander for Kavango West Region, all senior servants and government officials present, members of the Constituency Development Committees present, representing our 8 constituencies, representatives from the non-profit organizations, faith-based organizations, community-based organizations, distinguished invited guests, our respected community members, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Morokeni. I'm going to deliver my maiden speech under the theme, Empowering Communities, Transforming Agriculture, and Creating Sustainable Employment. Kavango West Region is driving a bold transformation anchored in agriculture with a clear focus on value addition, agro-processing, and inclusive economic empowerment. Our development trajectory is centered on harnessing our natural strengths, land, water, and people to create jobs, reduce poverty, and build resilient local industries. At the heart of this journey is our commitment to youth empowerment, ensuring that young people are equipped, supported, and included in shaping a thriving regional economy. I'm deeply honored this morning to stand before you to deliver my first State of the Region address, following my appointment as the second governor of Kavango West Region. On 28 March 2025, my appointment was done by Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Her Excellency for the confidence she has placed in me to represent the central government at the regional level and to serve our people in this important capacity. Thank you, Your Excellency. This address is more than a report. It is a moment to reflect on our achievements and challenges, and also to affirm our shared vision and unwavering dedication to building a better, more prosperous future for all residents of Kavango West Region. As Her Excellency rightly emphasized during the launch of the NDP 6, I quote, "We must commit to hard work and grow the economy to take our people out of poverty. With only 4.5 years remaining to Vision 2030, this NDP 6 is the final installment, aiming to achieve our objective of transforming Namibia into a developed and industrialized nation." End of quote. Inspired by this national call to action, We in Kavango West stand ready to align our regional goals with this transformative agenda. As a young and dynamic region, Kavango West continues to chart a path of resilience, innovation, and transformation despite facing immense socio-economic and infrastructural challenges. Our journey is one of partnership, people-centered leadership, and an unshakable belief in the potential of every resident of this region. So today's presentation will take stock of the current state of the region. It will highlight the achievements across key sectors, outline the outgoing and planned developmental projects, acknowledge our challenges, and articulate a shared vision for sustainable growth and inclusive progress. It is my hope that this address not only informs, but also inspires continued stakeholders' collaboration, commitment, and collective action towards the betterment of Kavango West region and the well-being of all its people. As an African proverb reminds us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. End of quote. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the following areas are key transforming our regional economy for the betterment of our people. 1, decentralization, bringing government to the people. Regional constituency visits. As part of our unwavering commitment to inclusive governance and responsive service delivery, the Kavango West Regional Leadership, under my stewardship, undertook a series of outreach visits to all 8 constituencies across the region. These engagements were conducted in close collaboration with Kavango West Regional Council and various offices, ministries, and agencies. The primary objective of these visits was to bring government closer to the people, enhance transparency, and directly address the needs and aspirations of our communities. This was a week-long engagement that took place from 12 to 19 June 2025. Clap for the leadership. So at these engagements, we highlighted the mandates of the Office of the Governor and that of the Kavango West Regional Council and the operations of these 2 offices. We further shared the regional developmental priorities and also provided information on rural development programs supported by Kavango West Regional Council and other OMAs. I'm encouraging the youth to participate in these rural development programs as it can help to reduce unemployment. The law enforcement officials, which was led by the regional commander, Commissioner Julius Akuaneo, joined the leadership and presented key safety and security information. A mobile police station was set up on site to serve the residents, reinforcing our resolve to ensure safety and justice are accessible to all. The different OMAs deployed mobile teams to offer services on site as well. So the presence of these line ministries empowered residents to access crucial services without the burden of travel and long delays, providing that government is most effective when it meets citizens where they are. So listening to our people, real-time feedback and dialogue. During the question and answer session, community members were given a valuable platform to express their views, share concern, and propose practical solutions. Their voices were not only heard, they were recorded. So this feedback will serve as a vital input in shaping future development interventions across our 8 constituencies, ensuring that our planning is informed by the realities of our people. So in the future, if you hear of these consultations, I urge you, please come, because that was the time we used for people to ask questions and share their views as well. So a call to unity and safety. In my concluding remarks during the constituency visits, I reminded us all that leadership does not reside in offices. It lives in active, passionate engagements with our communities. So I urge every resident to embrace peaceful conflict resolution and to reject all forms of gender-based violence and other crimes. The safety, dignity, and well-being of every citizen must remain a shared priority and collective responsibility. It is said in some African contexts that when there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot harm you, end of quote. So let us build peace from within our homes, our communities, and our hearts. These visits are not just a normal outreach program, but the beginning of a new era of community-led development, mutual accountability, and partnership between citizens and their government. Courtesy and stakeholders' engagements, building a regional development partnership. Shortly after being appointed as governor of Kavango West region, I made it a point to personally visit our traditional authorities, the Mbunza and Sambyu, while a visit to the Ukwangali is planned for the coming week. And these visits were not merely an introduction to our respected homepass, but a clear message that this office is a shared institution that belongs to all of us. Traditional leadership remains a cornerstone in shaping the future of our region. It was important for me to listen attentively, learn humbly, and reaffirm our collective commitment to walk this journey hand in hand with our elders, our communities, and the rich traditions that ground our identity and guide our development. Throughout my first 3 months in office, I've been warmly welcomed and conducted a series of key courtesy visits and stakeholders' engagements, spanning public institutions, traditional leadership, agriculture, green industry, sports, and education, all reinforcing our shared vision for Kavango West region. And today is another testament. Look, the hall is packed to capacity. Clap for yourself. I do appreciate your support. Statistical realities, a call for responsive planning. I should emphasize here that key planning and informed decision-making. So the result of 2023 population and housing census revealed that our regional population stands at 123,266. Over 15,000 of our households in the region relies on agriculture for a living. However, only 20.3% of residents have access to electricity, and 78.2% of households lack toilet facilities, whereas 20% have no access to potable water. Unemployment remains high at 52.8%, with youth unemployment at 58.1%. These realities call for urgent and focused planning interventions which will target job creation, poverty reduction, sustainable economic development for improved standard of living among our inhabitants. 3, agricultural growth and food security, the heart of our economy. Agriculture is our bedrock. Under the Directorate of Agricultural Production, Extension and Engineering Services, we plowed a total of 2,761 hectares across all constituencies, benefiting 1,435 farmers, of 821 female, 614 males. I, however, feel or believe that we can plow more hectares and believe more farmers if we can plan well in advance and avail plowing services early at the beginning of every plowing season. My call is to transform our agricultural sector and make Kavango West a food hub. I believe you also agree with me. Look at what we have in front here. So we can make our region food hub for Namibia. So a total of 1.7 million in subsidies was spent supporting horticulture, poultry, and equipment purchases for 146 farmers, 67 females and 23 males. So 657 farmers, 501 females and 156 males, receiving training in conservation agriculture, climate resilient farming, and good agricultural practices. This was directly linked to our call to promote backyard gardens and fruit tree planting in homes to feed community directly and promote self-sustenance. DAPIS has also commenced with the construction of its regional office and a staff house in Kurenkuru at the combined tune of 9 million. The project commenced in May 2025, and it is to be completed in October 2026. Kavango Cattle Ranch. This is a vast asset under NIDA that remains critical and a key economic project in our region. With around 9,000 cattle, the ranch has revenue potential exceeding 30 million annually. However, poor infrastructure, non-functional water points, staff housing, and salary issues must be urgently addressed in order to unlock its economic potential. Electrified fences or fencing, wildlife management, and modern infrastructure are necessary to unlock its full value. The region calls for a meaningful economic participation and community beneficiation of the cattle ranch. Hence, the turnaround strategy for NIDA should be implemented in collaboration with Kavango West Regional Council. Green scheme production. Kavango West region is proudly home to 2 operational green schemes projects, namely Sikondo and Musese, with a zone green scheme in the conception phase. These initiatives are part of Namibia's broader strategy to boost domestic food production, reduce reliance on agricultural import, and promote sustainable employment through agro-industrial development. This output generated an income of 15.9 million and provided employment to more than 800 workers. Plans are currently underway to establish a livestock feeding center, which will not only help mitigate the impact of drought, but also add value to local livestock. Is that not good news? We will ensure that stakeholders pursue maximum productivity at Sikondo and to accelerate the introduction of agro-processing facilities for value addition to locally produced crops. I think one of the famous crops that we produce at Sikondo is the watermelon. I think what we want to see is at least to have some watermelon juice from Sikondo. That is what we are talking about. Musese Green Scheme is a government-owned project currently managed by a private operator Musese saw the harvesting of 4,200 tons of maize, generating 28.5 million. A notable success at Musese is its commercial milling plant, which processes maize into maize meal readily available in markets within the region and beyond. These demonstrate the critical value of agro-processing in enhancing food self-sufficiency and local economic growth. We call on Musese to also venture into other crops and vegetable production on top of maize. Zone Green Scheme. It's a government emerging project that is still to be realized. Land is readily available at the size of 2,000 hectares and already allocated to the government by the Okwangali Traditional Authority. So our call is to the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform to prioritize and expedite the realization of this project. The productivity of these green schemes will be accelerated to enhance national food production for security and to create jobs, especially for the youth, as outlined in the SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan. 4, rural livelihood and horticultural empowerment. Through the Kavango West Regional Council, over 5.5 million was allocated to 8 constituencies to implement various rural development projects, such as small water pipeline construction, poultry farming, brick making, and horticulture production. The Kavango West Regional Council further supported 40 projects with 400 goats in 4 constituencies, namely Mpungu, Kurenkuru, Ngunguni, and Ngamagoro. Each project received 10 goats. So these projects have directly benefited a total of 146 community members. In March 2025, the region held its 3rd small-scale horticulture producers award at Mavanze village in Ngunguni constituency, with Kombara Youth Garden from Ngunguni securing the 1st place, followed by Great Hill Trading in Pungu constituency as 2nd best. The idea is to motivate more horticulture production in our region. So we really want to see a lot of people starting or doing the horticulture production. Still in the year under review, more than 200 farmers participated in a regional horticulture conference that explored funding access, climate-smart agriculture, and commercialization strategies. FAO also funded a successful exposure visit for 22 of our local horticulture producers to Olushanja in the Omusati region. We still envision to empower our horticulture producers with more knowledge, skills, and tools. So what we are saying is we want to see more of these type of visits still happening for our horticulture producers to go and learn more or get more information on how they can maximize production. A pillar of transformation. Kavango West continues to shine as a leader in education, having achieved 1st place nationally in the 2024 Namibian Senior Secondary Certificate Advanced Subsidiary, NNSCAS, and 2nd place in the Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Ordinary Level, NNSCO examinations. So these outstanding results are testament to the dedication of our educators, teachers, and the determination of our learners. Thank you. And the steadfast support of our communities, a collective effort that deserves the highest commendation. Round of applause again. Well done, Minister of Education. As the late Nelson Mandela wisely said, I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." End of quote. As part of the government's commitment to ensure a conducive teaching and learning environment, the region implemented the following education infrastructure development projects. 68 classrooms constructed at various schools, namely Karanawa Primary School, Kurenkuru Secondary Project School, Olavisivu Primary School, Rurume Primary School, Halili Combined School, Kachina Kachi Combined School, Kapako Combined School, Naingopo Primary School, Sitenda Primary School, Hamai Primary School, and Ekonjo Primary School. And 3 ablution blocks and 2 water tanks. However, I should state that 29 schools still lack permanent structures. 35 have no electricity, and 12 lack water, and 20 are severely dilapidated and needs urgent renovations. So new hostels are also planned for construction at Daniel Sitentum Pasi Secondary and Sharukwe schools. Resource and ICT schools are also planned for construction in Magoro and Zinzeket in the region. We will continue to engage the Education Ministry for additional investment in classrooms, hostels, laboratories, and school furniture. We extend our profound gratitude to all our valued development partners and champions of education who continue to invest in the future of our region. Special thanks goes to NAMDIA and the Namibia Fish Consumption Promotion Trust for the donation of classrooms. Contributions to our education sector. Your support is not just building infrastructure, it is building dreams, shaping minds, and uplifting communities. Can we clap for them, please? Furthermore, in line with the SWAPO Party Manifesto implementation plan, to accelerate financing of various sports programs and sports infrastructure, there is one for the construction of the Nkorenkuru Multipurpose Youth Center, Resource Center, which includes different sport facilities, is at an advanced stage. So far, changing rooms, a volleyball court, a basketball court, and a netball court are completed. While phase 2 is planned to commence this year. The identification of land to construct basic community sport infrastructure in all our 8 constituencies in the region was also concluded and submitted to the responsible ministry, with 2 priority constituencies to be identified and constructed under this financial year. These facilities will create productive recreational activities for the youth, foster talent development, and facilitate employment creation. So the completion of phase 1A and 1B for the construction of the Nkorenkuru Vocational Training Center, which is due to make its first intake in February 2026. The next phase will see the construction of additional workshops, a resource center, and student hostel accommodation. This further solidifies the SWAPO-led government's significant investment in education and training infrastructure to address accessibility to quality education and training. I'm appealing to the Namibia Training Authority, the responsible ministry, to speed up the construction of student accommodation to accommodate our youth, as well as to introduce courses that speak to the needs of our region, such as agriculture-related courses should be at the forefront. 6, gender equality and social welfare. We are deeply grateful to Palm for Life for their generous contribution towards uplifting our most vulnerable communities. Through their funding, a model early childhood development center valued at 7.5 million was constructed and handed over in August 2024 at Bravo Settlement, bringing dignity, hope, and opportunity to our marginalized families. This center is more than just a building. It is a foundation for a brighter future, where every child is given a fair start in life. 3,251 residents were registered under the conditional basic income grant, with 1,035 already receiving monthly support of 600, replacing the food bank while over 20,000 children are now covered under Children's Grant. 79 Namibian dollars was allocated to income-generating activities across the region, and 249,000 Namibian dollars water projects at Kapereki benefited marginalized households. While a borehole was drilled and installed to the tune of 1.1 million at Surungu village for the San community. 82 educarers were added to the monthly subsidy, bringing the total to 165 educarers in the region, and they are receiving a monthly amount of 1,500. This is in line with the government's effort to create employment. This initiative is appreciated, and we call on the ministry to add more educarers. 7, capital projects and infrastructure, Kavango West Regional Council. Under Kavango West Regional Council, the construction of 300 persons conference hall at the Rupara Rural Development Center is completed and only awaits the procurement of furniture for the hall to be implemented in this current financial year. While the accommodation facilities, both VIP and hostel, at the center is anticipated to be completed in the current financial year. The construction of Kavango West Regional Council office is also anticipated to be completed during this financial year. The construction of municipal services infrastructure at Katwitwi settlement is ongoing, and the renovation of a sewer pump house 100% completed, while the construction of access road to the reception area is ongoing, also to be completed this year. Proclamation of Bunya, Pungu, Ngamagoro, Rupara, and Kachina Kachi into settlement is still ongoing and a priority to the region. We await proclamation by the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development. My plea, our plea to the ministry is to fast track this proclamation, as this is long overdue. As part of its recruitment function, Kavango West Regional Council managed to fill 23 positions, hired 11 students under internship program, and recruited a total of 121 casual laborers during the year under review. Furthermore, 4 of the council staff members received financial assistance for studies. This demonstrates the council's commitment to create job opportunities and promote human capital development. Allow me then to highlight the achievements, challenges, and recommendations under Kavango West Regional Council. Construction of Rural Development Center at Rupara. This project is an ongoing project which has seen the completion of the welding workshop, kitchen, dining facilities, and the 300 persons conference hall. So the construction of the accommodation facilities, hostel and VIP accommodation is ongoing. Construction of services, infrastructure in Katwitwi settlement. The proposed upgrading of Katwitwi settlement village council status as recommended by the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development and the Township Board remains a priority for the region. However, progress has been constrained by limited budgetary allocations required for the provision of essential services. Over the past 3 financial years, Katwitwi has received allocations of 1.5 million or less annually, which has posed significant challenges in advancing the required infrastructural development. In light of this, we will continue to appeal for increased budgetary support, aligned with the projections provided by the appointed consultancy firms to enable the realization of this important development milestone. Allocation of rural development budget. The regional leadership appreciates the continued support of the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development in advancing rural development programs aimed at empowering communities through initiatives such as food security and nutrition, employment schemes, income generation, and rural sanitation. with 91% of Kavango West region being rural, we appeal for an increased budget allocation to strengthen these efforts. Under the one constituency, one initiative approach, an initiative I plan to launch and spearhead it, we are going to encourage communities to organize into cooperatives with access to land for agricultural activities that promote growth, value addition, and sustainable livelihood. This is a call to harness our natural resources for shared prosperity. Proclamation of local authorities and settlement. The Council took a resolution to declare a number of its identified growth points as settlement in the village councils. Atwitwi, Kahenge, and Ropara to be declared as village councils, while Ngamagoro, Pungu, and Bunya, and Kachina Kachi are to be declared as settlements. With a population of 123,266, the idea is to relieve pressure from the Nkurenkuru Town Council as the only current town in the region and is faced with high influx of people from rural areas to the town to seek for employment. So the proclamation of more local authorities and settlements will further help stimulate economic development in the region. I believe you all agree with me. We cannot continue to have only Nkurenkuru as the town in Kavango West region. The others need to be proclaimed. I underline that one. We appeal to the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development to continue supporting the Council in accelerating the implementation process. We kindly urge the Ministry to allocate adequate budgetary resources to facilitate the development of the identified growth points in alignment with national priorities and regional development goals. Furthermore, the region would like to de-link Kahenge Township from Nkurenkuru Town and declare Kahenge as a village council on its own. The council have taken a resolution. I thought you would clap. A resolution to separate Kahenge from Nkurenkuru and make Kahenge a village council on its own, since it already has the necessary service infrastructure. 8, civil registration, safety, law, and order. The Ngamagoro police station, valued at 15 million, was inaugurated. Kahenge police station was renovated at the tune of 972,000 Namibian dollars, while new police stations is that I'm going to discourage the groundbreaking ceremonies. I'm going to promote lay a brick ceremonies. When you come, we want to see the truck with the bricks for you to come and start. It is long overdue. Because we have witnessed projects, groundbreaking ceremonies have taken, we were there dancing, clapping, but until today, we are still sitting with these projects without being realized, and we must say no to that. I should further report that the construction of the Nkurenkuru Home Affairs Office in Nkurenkuru at the tune of 60 million started in August 2024, and is progressing well, to be completed in February 2026. Despite these developments, significant challenges remain. Kahenge still lacks a permanent magistrate court, while Bunya and Ngamagoro do not have holding cells. Additionally, forensic services are only accessible in Rondo, posing delays in criminal investigations. It is an urgent need to decentralize court services and enhance policing infrastructure to improve access to justice and public safety at the local level. 9, forestry, environmental governance, and community reliance. At Sia Forestry Substation, with the assistance of the Nila Lake project, implementation of borehole drilling, fencing, reforestation, bush thinning, community enterprise are being supported in Devil's Claw and Manketi Nut value chains, in line with our commitment to environmental stewardship and community empowerment. The Maurus Nekaro Conservancy in Musese constituency hosted, or still hosting, an international event, the biannual Transboundary Natural Resource Management meeting for the first time in Kavango West region. So this forum brings or brought together communal conservancies and community-based organizations from across SADC. And it's being held under the theme, benefit sharing through sustainable use. I was there yesterday to officiate this event. The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism played a pivotal role in coordinating and supporting the success of this important gathering, which aimed to promote knowledge exchange, cross-border cooperation and sustainable resource use within the Kavango Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area. 10. Health services. In Kavango West, where vast distances and rural settlement patterns pose challenges to service delivery, access to quality health care remains a critical priority. Our region continues to take meaningful steps to strengthen health system and bring essential services closer to the people. During the reporting period, key infrastructure upgrades were completed, including the renovation of the Nkurenkuru Primary Health Care Clinic, which now includes a new dental unit and an additional ward. Ablution facilities were constructed at Nepara and Insu clinics, while facility expansion at Kachinakachi, Pungu, and Magafeti successfully fund at CDC. The construction of the Nkurenkuru District Hospital has been activated in the current MTF with an allocation of 10 million, which will commence with the construction of electricity. However, the year was not without challenges. Since November 2024, the region recorded 18,561 malaria cases, of which 14,156 were local transmission. A total of 1,358 people were admitted, and regrettably, 15 lives were lost. May their souls rest in peace. These figures underscore the need for continued malaria prevention and control efforts across our region. On a positive note, progress was also recorded in controlling other major diseases. So the HIV prevalence rate in the region dropped to 6.9% as of 2023, while the tuberculosis treatment success rate improved to 82%, reflecting the hard work of our health professionals and partners. Nonetheless, challenges persist. The absence of a mortuary in Nkurenkuru, inadequate accommodation for health workers, lack of reliable transport, and dilapidated facilities at several clinics continue to strain service delivery. To address these issues, we strongly advocate for the ministry to speed up the construction of the long overdue Nkurenkuru District Hospital, the renovation and upgrading of busy clinics, and the expansion of Rupara Health Center Phase 2. These investments are essential to meet the growing healthcare demand of our region and to honor our collective commitment to the well-being of all our citizens. 11, urban and economic development, Nkurenkuru Town. The Nkurenkuru Open Market was officially inaugurated and is now home to 62 active traders, providing a structured and supportive environment for small business operations. Meanwhile, phase 1 of the community sport field in Kakuro has reached 85% completion, marking steady progress towards promoting youth development and recreational activity. In support of employment creation, the Nkurenkuru Town Council engaged 102 temporary workers in town cleaning initiatives and appointed 7 and internships contributing to skills development and local job opportunities. A total of 181 residential plots were allocated to beneficiaries, primarily in Mayara, Kakuro, Kahenge, and Nkurenkuru Extension 6. Additionally, 51 Aven in Extension 3 have been fully serviced. 83 Aven in Extension 4 were equipped with sewer reticulation, laying the foundation for future housing and development. However, some challenges remain, notably relating to land management, compensation timelines, and budgetary limitations, which have modestly impacted the pace of inclusive urban development in Nkurenkuru. We remain confident that through continued collaboration between all stakeholders, these matters will be progressively addressed in the spirit of shared responsibility and sustainable growth. 12, investment, finance, and enterprise development. During the year under review, Agribank disbursed 5.7 million in loans to 18 farmers in the region. Through the targeted financial inclusion efforts, the total amount of 2.6 million were allocated to the Women and Youth Loan Scheme. During the year under review, a total number of 1,199 farmers were trained in business and climate-smart agriculture. I'm also urging the youth to take use of the newly introduced National Youth Funds, which is being implemented by the Minister of Finance, or through the Minister of Finance, which aims to empower youth to embark on various. The Communal Land Board held meetings and the committees conducted monitoring of 74 lease, 62 designated farming units, and 12 other leases. New 11 leaseholds and 1 occupational right were recommended for approval by the Minister. 390,272 Namibia dollars in lease revenue was collected. We strongly call upon the Land Board and all responsible institutions to urgently fast-track the surveying and gazetting of outstanding land units. The region is increasingly confronted by widespread illegal fencing practices that are not only unlawful, but erode trust in our land governance system. 14, Veterans Affairs. During the period under review, 7.1 million in once-off gratuities was paid to 142 veterans across the region. 680,000 Namibian dollars was spent to support income-generating projects. 15, labor and justice. The implementation of the national minimum wage order marks a significant step in promoting fair labor practices. However, our labor office in Nkurenkuru continues to face critical constraints, including inadequate staffing and limited office space. Currently, labor inspectors and arbitrators are deployed from other regions, which hampers timely and effective service delivery to our communities. We therefore appeal to the Ministry of Justice and Labor Relations to prioritize the decentralization of labor services to Kavango West. In particular, we recommend the establishment of a dedicated employment officer position to be based in Nkurenkuru, tasked with overseeing the registration of job seekers on the Namibia Integrated Employment Information System and coordinating regional and employment initiatives. Strengthening local capacity is essential to ensure equitable access to labor services and to support the region's employment and economic development agenda. 16, Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Its support provided through the ministry includes formalization and issuing of certificates to 124 small and medium enterprises. 3 young people received training in gemstone polishing and jewelry making, with equipment worth 492,460 Namibian dollars, was given to 17 SMEs to boost their operations. In the same year under review, 2 SMEs were supported through the Industrial Upgrading and Modernization Program. The Kavango West Regional Liquor Licensing Committee was also established to support service delivery throughout the region. All members of the committee were officially appointed by the minister, and they are executing their duties. Rural electrification program continues to be implemented by the ministry in our region. During the period under review, 5 schools were electrified, namely Gwage Junior Primary in Musese, Harapembe Junior Primary in Mankumpi, Ge Junior Primary, Kause Junior Primary, and Runda Junior Primary in Pungu, respectively. Tondoro localities was also electrified. The program continues with this year, with the electrification of 12 more schools and 2 localities, namely Rupara and Sikondo, and the contractors are already on site. Sakererenko. Oil and gas exploration activities under RECO Namibia is set to resume this year, and we are hoping for the best results. I am, however, appealing to RECO Namibia to ensure that the locals benefit much from this activity, either from or through employment creation, subcontracting of local SMEs, and entrepreneurs and corporate social responsibilities. This echoes the statement of Her Excellency President Nandi Ndaitwah that reminds us that Namibia's natural resources must benefit Namibians first, especially those whose livelihoods depend directly on the land and ecosystems they protect. 17, water and sanitation. During the year under review, the Directorate of Water Supply, Sanitation and Coordination drilled and installed 16 boreholes at the cost of 4.8 million, while 31 boreholes previously drilled without installation were installed to the tune of 19 million. 3 earth dams rehabilitated at 2.6 million, and a short pipeline constructed at Manyondo, Tara, to the tune of 1.2 million, and a mini desalination plant set up at Selikunga village at the cost of 598,000 Namibian dollars. And I tested the water. It tastes like Bon Agua. Under rural sanitation, 94 toilets were constructed in all 8 constituencies as follows: 17 in Kurenkuru, 11 in Pungu, 11 in Tondoro, 11 in Musese, 11 in Kapako, 11 in Nguni, 11 in Ngamagoro, 11 in Mankumpi, while 125 more were handed over to the contractors and are under construction to be completed this year. 18, works and transport, road network. The region continues to engage the Ministry of Works and Transport and Road Authority on the construction of roads. And while I'm here, let me take the moment also to appreciate the Minister of Works, who already took time. Immediately after his appointment, he came to our region to come and see some of those roads that I'm going to talk about. So we need to clap for him. This is what we want to see. A regional road master plan was finalized together with the Ministry and Road Authority for consideration. The top 18 priority roads of the region were submitted for consideration in the next 5-year strategic period of the Road Authority. I should report that 7 of our priority roads are already under consideration, as 5 of them already reflects in the current medium-term expenditure framework 2025-2026. DR 3446 Charlie Cut line starting from Alex Moranda to Kapereki, totaling to 137 kilometers, is under construction with gravel and is almost complete, with 7 kilometers remaining, while DR 3406 from Kurenkuru to Gava is also under construction and an upgrade to low volume seal, with the first 10 kilometers to be completed soon. I'm sure you have seen what is happening there. For some of us who are driving there every day, we can see very good progress. And I think we need to clap for their good work. Information, communication technology, ICT. ICT is crucial for our development as it can drive economic growth, improve public service delivery, bridge the gap between urban and rural areas. It fosters innovation, enhances productivity, and unlock opportunity for new businesses, and it further plays a vital role in education, offering new teaching methods and wider access to information. The construction or erection of new ICT towers continues in the region. And during the year under review, 3 new towers were constructed at Kachinakachi, Mupini, and Tondoro, while more new towers are to be constructed at Wiwi and Kandumbu in Pungu constituency, Naimanya in Tondoro constituency, and Guachinga in Ngunguni constituency. Makena Gogo. It's important to have network. A rural community ICT center is also set to be set up at Ngamagoro constituency office to serve the communities along the Rundu-Mururani road. It's quite a milestone, eh? Honorable Chairperson, distinguished guests, fellow residents, ladies and gentlemen. In conclusion, a united call to action. As we reflect on the progress made and the challenges that remain, one truth stands firm. Kavango West is a region of quiet strength, rooted in tradition and ripe with opportunities. Our landscape are blessed with fertile soils, flowing rivers, abundant natural resources, and above all, resilient, hardworking people. This region is not just geographically located at the heart of Kavango, but it is steadily emerging as a beating heart of agricultural transformation, youth-driven innovation, and inclusive development. From the maize field of Sikondo to the artisan cooperatives of Pungu, and from the classroom of Kurenkuru to the communal lands of Musese, the seeds of progress are being sown. Yet, these seeds must be nurtured. We must strengthen agricultural value chains through agro-processing facilities that ensure our farmers not only grow crops, but also own the market. Accelerate the implementation of growth points and rural infrastructure to unlock investment and stimulate small town economies. Equip our youth with skills, financing, and mentorship they need to turn passion into productivity and dreams into jobs. Prioritize sustainability in every sector, from energy to water, from innovation to preserve our natural capital for generations to come. Promote innovation and digital inclusion, ensuring even more communities have access to more tools and services that can transform livelihoods. As we journey towards or forward, let us remember that development is not built by the government alone, but by the collective hands and hearts of citizens, traditional leaders, faith-based organizations, civil society, and the private sector. Kavango West may be the youngest of the Namibia's regions, but it carries the wisdom of elders, the energy of youth, and the vision of people determined to rise. Let us stand united in purpose, bold in ambition, and steadfast in our commitment to building a region that is not only rich in resources, but in opportunity, dignity, and hope. As the African proverb wisely put it, I quote, "The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth." End of quote. Let us embrace every member of our community and ensure no one is left behind. I thank all stakeholders, line ministries, regional and local authorities, development partners, traditional leaders, and our citizens for your invaluable contributions. Together, let us turn the promise of this region into progress that touches every life. Kavango West is ready. Our doors are open for investors. Let us grow together. Let us transform together. Let us empower together.
Make, 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 make. Biblia sikusiliwelike iwonga ututwara meguru ndi. Only the truth will set us free. Lucky Dube had the song. There comes a time in every man's life when he's got to face the truth no matter what. Usiliwowonye mwazuvunye ilyakuyauka epangelo lyeni lyomo Kavango. Yetu tuliko nyose twakarako. Wakusindika twakusindika. Ya, mwamunye mwazuvu oyo mwazuvu ni mkorange denyasi. Tuzeninye muunzi wetu tukakorange deni vanona wetu na wenyo wagwanesa numvura murongo na hambo ndatu. Kutameka mo mazuwa gane gokwedi kwa siwogedi dogoro murongo numgoi waka lichangese wagwane ikarata yokuhorowesa Novemba wahorore usili ipo ekuliko usili ngaliwize kwawo. Simwe tukakorange deni hena wadingantu wetu apangazi kapaturuka sure ezi zoikwa ndizo zonkurungu oko mawoko ozina watu tanteli onguru asitazi kapaturuka mvuro zomo kwedi kwa Januari 2026 fageni wanona poitanda fageni wanona momambo wayali changese mara wanona omo Kavango usuntu tupungazi kapaturuko zosure wanona oko maruhago irongogo wopeke tawa ya rundama tawa ya changesa simbenga waka hupekwa sawe watu sigiko nyima mazuwa ndimo Januari 2026 suwezina zapu kwina zoi pirangi zo unkurungu zoi kwasinge tazikapaturuka tufageni wana wetu.
Ungana Colleagues, money will come.
Well, there you have it, Namibia. That was the speech of the governor, Verna Sinimbo, from the Kavango West region. We're coming to you live from the capital town, that is Nkulunkulu. Modestus joined me in the pre-analysis. He's joining me in the post-analysis. Modestus, tell us, what are your initial sentiments, feelings from the governor's SORA?
No, to think she started to very well. It's promising to the region if it will be realistic, it will be realized. You can start from the collaboration with the traditional authorities, the government and all stakeholders, and then from there it touched on the agricultural part, the youth employment and interventions with private sectors and the public sector.
But earlier in the pre-analysis, you were speaking about irrigation schemes and how those could be an opportunity for people. And the governor touched on two of them, Secondo being one of them, and about 800 being employed. Are those jobs for young people, or what would you say are the status of those jobs?
Yes, those 800 jobs that are Secondo created, is it just for casual, maybe for just for 3 months or for 2 months? Because even if you can go there now and look at the production, it's not up to scale. So it's not even more about even having those jobs. It must be sustainable, meaning livelihood for the people. But equally, it's not just like the green scheme is producing, but how is it contributing to the livelihood of the people?
Okay, so that's interesting, because a lot of the times what you're saying is that we're speaking about we've done this, but we're not measuring the impact in terms of, say, livelihoods and sustainable livelihoods. Again, what are the roles of, I think we touched on this in the first segment, particularly the Office of the Governor, in ensuring that these gaps that you're identifying, even though so much effort has been made and they've come this far, what is the Office of the Governor's role to bring urgency to some of the matters that you're discussing here?
Now, you see, the role of the governor is firstly, by its nature, is the political head of the region, which means every decision should come from her, even the commanding, is the highest in commanding on what's going to happen in the region. But in terms of coordinating and implementing those policies that are friendly and beneficiary to the residents, she's the one to make those pronouncements and efforts in order for the quality of life
That's
for the
interesting
residents.
because you're saying we shouldn't just measure employment, we should also look at how it affects people's livelihoods. Let's speak to, again, within a rural context, because I think Namibians that are watching this post-analysis might think that the context is similar to many other regions, but the context here, like we're saying, is 91.5% of the region is rural, only 8.5, about 123,000 residents in the region, 8 constituencies. From the governor's speech, did you hear the issues that are important to young people being addressed?
Yes, there are issues that she addressed, but in my view, I think it's just rhetoric. But let's see, we are going to hold her accountable on those issues, especially for those targeted interventions.
Okay, so in closing, I think one of the things she spoke about is, this idea of, let me quote her, that she said, "The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth if urgency is not brought to development." How did that make you feel as a resident of the Kavango West region?
No, I think it was a sense of belonging also, but equal to her, she demonstrated that she's a leader to be reckoned with in the region, but we must just expect her to deliver.
She finished the speech off by saying, "Together, let us turn the promise of this region into progress that touches every life." Your sentiments on that statement?
You see, but sometimes that's why I say those are maybe rhetoric, but equally that's also giving hope to the hopeless people, but also inspiring confidence.
But sometimes, sometimes when we look at what's working and what's not working, and we say it's only rhetoric, we've seen the numbers. There's been investment, so maybe it's only been access to a few and not to all.
Yes.
And not just rhetoric.
Yeah, but they need more effort in order for everyone to.
But we have to acknowledge that it's beyond rhetoric. I mean, the numbers are showing itself. I mean, I can go back to the speech, but everybody's heard it. And I think sometimes in our analysis, you say, no, things are being done. They're not being done at scale. And maybe being able to talk to about it in terms of for the majority of the people or for all. Would that be a better kind of framing?
No, we recognized those interventions that the government made in the region, and we are glad, but something must be done.
Now, just responding to the rhetoric issue.
Oh.
Any closing remarks to the young people, to the residents of Kavango West in closing?
Let's collaborate and let's participate as young people wherever you find yourself. Don't just be spectators, be involved. Because when you are involving, you are going to learn and you are going to improve yourself as a resident of the region, and let's make the region great.
Okay. Pandu, thank you very much
you,
for coming in and giving us this post-analysis. Well, there you heard it, maybe especially to the young people of the Kavango West region. The message is just don't wait and be a spectator to the development that's taking place, not just in the country, in your region, but also in your constituency. Become a player, make contributions, make a change, whether it's at the community hall or in the community sports, agriculture. These are all the opportunities that are here. But I think the message has been also from our prelude interview this morning, Good Morning Namibia, it is to say that the people and the leaders of the region are ready to lead with love. I think that's a message that needs to be spread throughout the country. Namibia, that's all the SORAs we could bring you for this week, but trust on us to be covering the SORAs next week, starting in the Kunene region. Monday morning, we'll be seeing you from that. From myself, Patrick Sam, and the entire team that's traveling the entire country to make sure that you, Namibia, are covered on all of our NEC platforms. Make sure to join us then. Have a great weekend. It's a goodbye from me, Patrick Sam.